Okay, so welcome everybody to episode number 6 of season 2 of the Mindful Fitness podcast. We are up and running, a few technical difficulties this morning. So, here at the Mindful Fitness podcast, we aim to inspire you with tales of how our CEOs, busy mums, personal trainers, and all kinds of health and wellness folk are managing their own health and fitness. Small daily habits practiced consistently can lead to big long-term change. So this podcast and our guests are just hoping to inspire you to pay a little more attention to your daily choices, to make it a habit to be healthy and positive rather than a challenge. This podcast is brought to you by VPA Australia, who are a proud sponsor of the Mindful Fitness podcast. They have a premium whey vanilla protein from grass-fed only cattle, which literally has the most delicious flavour you'll ever taste. My favourite, and definitely my whole house's favourite, is the vanilla protein, which I have most days, especially post-workout, to help get some nice lean muscle mass going on in my body. I recommend buying in bulk because it's so delicious, so you're not going to run out. And I always recommend these shakes to my clients who are looking for an alternate dessert option also, as they are actually so yummy. So if you're trying to get off chocolate or the sweets this Christmas season, maybe go and get some VPA chocolate protein and make yourself a shake in the evening instead of having actual chocolate cake. So today's guest is the founder and managing director of Soul Cups. Her name is Rebecca Veksler. And Rebecca is also the vice president of the Bondi Chamber of Commerce. That's amazing. Soul Cups, if you don't already know, are beautiful hand-blown reusable glass coffee cups and bottles that are plastic and chemical-free. So excited for this podcast. Welcome, Rebecca.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. And you totally nailed that intro.
I know, my God, I didn't stumble this time, finally. I actually had a few guests on the other day. I had a 2-in-1 going on with Brittany and Jacqueline Alwill. That was a great episode. But my God, their intro, just trying to get through
so
2 different people and all of the, different university degrees that they've got between them. It was a mouthful and a half. Anyway.
That's the life.
Yeah, exactly. What can we do? So, Rebecca, you have to tell me a bit about yourself and your background, personally as much as you want to share, of course, but also how you got into your business and setting up this amazing company.
Yeah, I'd love to. To kind of give you the nice sort of roundup version, I used to be in the fitness and health industry. I was a personal trainer since I was 18. And I loved that industry. I loved the lifestyle. I was incredibly passionate and dedicated to my clients, to my own well-being and health and fitness. And I was training and competing. And that was basically going to be my journey. I was creating another company in mental health and creating workshops. And I was expanding, managing gyms, and I was hoping to progress my own career in that sort of world. And I actually got very, very ill. So I developed, I already had autoimmune issues since I was quite young, but it developed into chronic pain. And I literally woke up one day and I couldn't walk. So imagine going from competing, training myself 4 hours a day and, having fitness be your entire life to literally not being able to walk.
Wow.
So, and then of course, pain doesn't help either, right?
Of course.
So that completely changed my entire life. And you can imagine the depression that would have come with that, the ups and downs, the mental health issues, just trying to accept change in such a, uncontrollable environment where you literally don't really know what's wrong or what's going to happen next.
Yes.
So that journey was fascinating to actually experience, to overcome, to go through, and then obviously manage day by day.
Yeah.
So Soul Cups was an accident.
Right.
It was never intentional. I have a lot of experience in product development and product-based business, as well as customer relation business and hospitality based on what my family does. But it was never my intention to get involved, to create something myself. And it was literally a passion project that kept me sane from bed.
Wow.
While I was so unwell.
How long were you so unwell for?
So 2016 is when when I was the worst.
Yeah.
And basically for the remainder, about 6 months of the
Yeah.
second half of that year was the
Wow.
worst. And that's
Yeah.
when Soul Cups accidentally was
Yeah.
designed.
So not being able to move, I mean, my goodness, how do you even cope
Yeah.
with that?
You don't.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
There's never a sort of one way solution to coping with something like that. It's very personal. It's very circumstantial. Exactly what we touched on before. Like, I think I was born naturally with a solution-based mindset, with a positive outlook.
Yeah.
But I have faced mental health issues since I was 8 years old. So
Yeah.
this was like, oh, great, just something else to deal with.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
But I mean, autoimmune disease, so for people that don't really understand it, it comes in so many different forms, right? I mean, it attacks your body and
Correct.
you personally so differently to how it might, affect somebody else. I know quite a few people, nowadays that have autoimmune disease. I mean, when you're saying you can't walk, does that mean it's affecting your joints, or it was painful to walk, or was it more of a mental thing that you just physically couldn't get out of bed in the morning?
So that's where the unexplainable part comes in. So imagine, when you do a really crazy workout and you have that onset pain, like DOMS, we talk about DOMS, like so the worst leg day you've ever done, right?
Yes.
Like hectic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even, within 20 minutes of the session, you're like shaking to kind of walk down the stairs, like that sort of vibe. And I don't know if anyone's ever recalled it, but sometimes when DOMS is that intense, it creates a little bit of weakness in the joints.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why you stumble down the steps a little bit.
Yeah.
So imagine that times a million.
Wow.
So my pain was very physical. It wasn't mental.
Wow.
It was, imagine inflammation for no reason. So let's say, I can show you later, but the back of my knees might get quite inflamed and red. Yeah. And they're so sore to touch. And then my hips are very weak, so I can't actually physically get down the stairs. I was with, a walking stick, wheelchair for the first few months because the pain was so incredible that even, actual medication like
doesn't work.
What's it called? Like steroids, like to reduce the inflammation, like nothing was working. Yeah. And then if I'd go and do a body scan, they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. Yeah. Nothing showing up. So that's autoimmune. It's your body attacking itself, but in this unexplainable way and so rapidly that doctors most of the time just go, I don't know what to do with you. Yeah. Let's just cross our fingers.
Could they tell you that it was autoimmune disease? They were able to diagnose that?
Look,
that's what it was?
I've had that since I was 8. I've had chronic fatigue. Yeah. So for them, they just go, oh, sweet, she's already got something, so let's just label it. But if I didn't, I can guarantee you, I spent 6 months in and out of hospital with specialists, whether it was acupuncture or natural or herbs or, because I don't believe in taking medicine. I'm not so much into that world.
Yeah, sure.
So, doctors are like, you might get worse.
Yeah.
You might not. Good luck. And I sort of sat there and went, well, screw you. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, my goodness.
So I gave myself, I think, 3 months to feel sorry for myself and sort of
and then upset. You started Soul Cups.
Well, no, Soul Cups was this natural progression, but I focused solely on myself, on my gut health and my mental health. Okay, gotcha. So it changed it. I was already healthy. I was already gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, all that jazz. But I focused on proper gut health rehabilitation. So bone broth for 3 months. Yeah, wow. Yeah. And, beach walking, meditation, anything that would soothe, self-soothe, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, I mean, Soul Cups is just something, I think I read, I don't know where I read it this morning somewhere, about you literally just started with a table at the markets. Was it Bondi Market? Bondi Farmers Markets.
Yeah, that's it. Literally. I mean, if anyone knew me in 2016, 2017, they knew me as like the cup lady. Like, I was either working from a cafe, and by the end of the day, everyone in that cafe knew what I was working on. Got you. Or I was, working at the Bondi markets, getting direct feedback, and if you've sort of heard any of the business side of what I went through, basically we had 8 weeks to pre-sell a certain amount of cups before they were produced, before I even had a sample to try and get the business off the ground. Yeah. And I managed to do that in 2.
Oh, wow.
So that was the kickstart.
Amazing. Yeah, gotcha.
That was where we sort of really knew that this
had
was going to be something.
Yeah, the feedback was that immediate.
Yeah, and that was before War on Waste. So I'm talking to people that didn't really care that much.
Yeah, plastic, what?
Literally, they'd been, but plastic is great.
Plastic?
What are you talking about?
There's no accumulation of plastic in the ocean. What are you on about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my goodness. Wow. So, gosh, well done for getting to this state that you're in. That's amazing story. And I think, it's so inspiring for people as well to learn that you can heal yourself and that there is a way out of having, the autoimmune disease like that, and such success as well to follow on.
Yeah, look, I think autoimmune is such a sensitive topic because there is no way out, but there is very capable coping mechanisms. And I truly believe it is deeply linked to our mental health. It's very much ingrained in what trauma have you been through, what are you holding on to, how do you manage your own sense of state, your happiness, your joy, are you balancing yourself, look at your gut health, it's all hormonal, do the research and start to understand what issues you've got internally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we were going to talk about that as well. May as well get straight into it. So
why not?
Yeah, so your mindset, as you said, you think you've always been quite a positive person or tried to be from a very young age. Do you think it's kind of evolved though and changed as you've grown and gotten older and certainly busier? Do you find that your approach to being mindful of, maintaining your mental health has changed?
It has, in the sense that the biggest lesson I learned is that I wasn't prioritizing my own health.
Gotcha.
I was prioritizing everybody else's because that was my passion.
Yes.
Right? I love
people,
I
hear you.
Especially in this fitness industry.
Yeah.
And most of the trainers that I know, even now, are not well.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really need their own support. And I think that's very common, is that a lot of people in the health and fitness industry that are truly passionate, truly dedicated to people, often put themselves second. And that's, a lot of us are empaths naturally. That's why we're in this role, in this career. So if you can understand that you need to put yourself first, because if you're not your best self, how can you possibly give anything good to your clients or to anyone else in your life?
Yeah.
So I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I got slapped in the face,
Yeah.
literally. So
yeah, absolutely. And did you ever want to go back to being a trainer after that? And after you did start Soul Cups, were you kind of thinking eventually you'd get back into being a trainer?
I mean, I'll always miss it,
Yeah.
truly, but I can't. I physically can't exercise. I physically can't train. So I'm not capable to be that example.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair for clients. They really want to work with you. They want to train with you. They want to see high energy. And I have,
low energy.
I have 30%.
You go and do
energy.
I'm just going to
watch.
Best
of days. So
got you. Yeah, absolutely. So what do you do for exercise now?
So on a good day, I'll walk. That's probably what my body is capable of coping with. Some light, gentle body weight exercises like squats and, whatever I can do. I can't push myself. Otherwise my body goes into attack mode.
Yeah.
So as you know how muscles work, basically, as soon as there's a tear or anything needs to be
down.
repaired, my body can't handle that much work. It's too much effort, so the immune system will sort of backlash.
Yeah.
So very slow, but I love to dance. I love to hula hoop. Anything fun.
Great.
I like to play tennis with my family.
Yeah.
Walking with the dog, walking on the soft sand of the beach. Anything just for mental health.
I was going to say, they're all great for your mental health. That'd be so much fun. Hula hooping for exercise.
I highly recommend it. It is not as easy as it sounds.
No, because honestly, I don't think I've ever tried to actually hula hoop for more than maybe 3 straight minutes. So
I'm up
that
to
would be
40 minutes now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. We
I
should have
love
brought a hula hoop in and had a demo here. That would have been great. You're going to make some plastic-free hula hoops. That can be your next
right?
thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Although what could you make them with then if you weren't going to make them with plastic? That probably wouldn't work.
We'll figure it out. Leave it to me.
Exactly. New products coming 2020. So then touching on the business now, how is the business going? I mean, you're distributing worldwide, aren't you, now?
Yeah, it's been one of the most exciting adventures I've ever been on.
Yeah.
So we've done an impeccable job of growing in a short amount of time. We're only really 3 years old.
Yeah.
We have offices based in Sydney and London. So we've got teams all over. We've got warehousing all over the world, and we're distributing ourselves through all of Europe, the UK, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, and then we've got distributors everywhere else.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's massive. So you've obviously got a team
Yeah.
working
Thank
with
God.
you. Yeah.
Yes.
You're not doing it all on your own.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
How long did it take you to get a team? Was that something that you kind of started, well, not from the get-go because you were alone in the farmers markets, but how soon did you start to hire people?
It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think about 6 months in, we had our first 2 employees, and we also had our own warehousing. So we were doing it ourselves for the first almost year and a half.
Yeah.
It's 3 upgrades, small, medium to large.
Yes.
That means hiring full-time warehouse managers and fulfillment teams, as well as, by the end of it, we would have had, 10, 15 people in the office at one point.
Yeah.
And, as time goes, you sort of prioritize and become more productive and smarter with systems, and you can really manage things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Goodness. And is it a lot of it learning on the go? Or did you feel like you had you said you had a bit of experience previously. How much did that help you when you were developing Soul Cups?
So I'm, again, very fortunate. This is family business of 30 years of working offshore, producing products ethically, sustainably. We've got relationships,
Great.
that go way back. I was literally could have been born in a factory. Like, I really understand the depth.
Okay.
So I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that skill. And in terms of understanding business in itself, that's something that's just in your blood. That's something in my blood. Don't know why. No one taught it to me. I didn't finish a uni degree. I tried to. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's something that you either understand or you don't understand, and
Yeah.
you're going to be learning every day, no matter what. You don't have a choice. So
Yeah.
you either have that growth mindset and,
Right. Embracing failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Or setbacks.
Yeah, I don't
Setbacks.
believe in failure, because even now, if I get asked all the time, what's the biggest regret? What's the biggest failure you've had? I'm like, I don't have one, because I don't let it get to that point. Little speed, road bumps or issues. I solve 50 million problems a day, but they're not problems. They're just...
Yeah, it's just part of
that's running a
developing your business. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got customer service, you've got, logistics, you've got, facilitating warehousing. Like, there's a million things to do. So that's just the life it is.
Yeah.
But, yes, you learn every single day, for sure.
Yeah. Wow. How fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, so with that, then you are going through the business. You're going over road bumps, speed bumps, whatever they are. What is your thing? I mean, are you a meditator? Is that what you like to do? Is it more as in, like, meditation can be so many things, but could it be a breathing meditation or a mental one, or do you do it at all?
Absolutely. Like, that has changed my life. It's definitely a morning ritual and a bedtime ritual. And if I feel truly overwhelmed, because things happen, that are out of your control during the day, it is just self-soothing. Like, it's everyone's coping mechanisms, are different. But yes, breathing, belly breathing, meditating, going for a walk, walking in a circle, whatever you got to do to, like, step outside of that trauma mindset. I have a trampoline in the office.
Do you?
That's
Great.
what we've got a dog and a trampoline, and that's the most important thing. So finding those things that help you just come back to reality and reset and, force a bit of serotonin.
Yeah, a trampoline. I like that.
Yeah.
I might get one of those little running trampolines in my
it's just a
home
personal
office.
one.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Oh, nice. I like that. What kind of dog have you got?
We've got a very overweight Cocker Spaniel.
Oh my God. That's
He's
great.
humongous.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, sweet. I'm going to have to see a photo of that later. Okay, so meditating's important. Did you ever do transcendental meditation, or you do it on your own? Transcendental's that one, where you do 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon, not right before bed, but it's supposed to be like 6 hours from the first time you did the morning one.
I see, that's the thing. I haven't sort of dived that deep where I start to really look at the theory of meditation. I think I've always just had my own internal sort of self-talk and, those kind of coping mechanisms. I'm very open to learning everything and anything.
Yep.
But I think anyone also in business or not in business who suffers with anxiety knows that, you've got to find those key words or those key statements that you just have to talk back to yourself and come back to your own sense of self.
Kind of like affirmations and meditation at the same time.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that.
I'm very big into that.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I think, I mean, and you would know this as well from being, and maybe this is just my excuse, but from being a personal trainer, for me, my ritual in the morning is getting up very early and basically going out and training other people, and so I've always wanted to I used to meditate religiously about 10 years ago, which is shameful, but I've always wanted to get back into it. But I find that I make that excuse for myself, if you like, that I'm up at 6 or 5:45 in the morning, and then I'm out training people, and then you're kind of in this really wired, buzzed up place. You probably had coffee and all this stuff by the time you get a break, like mid-morning. And so then sitting down to meditate isn't something that
it ruins the flow
almost in
your day. Yeah.
Exactly. And you kind of feel like I want to meditate in the morning, but then that would cut into my sleep time to then get up, at 5:15, so then I can meditate. And there's a part of you that as a trainer you're thinking, no, sleep is the most important thing.
Well, it is.
But it is the most important. But I think as well, sleep before 6 a.m., you shouldn't necessarily be getting up before 6 a.m. if you can help it.
Yeah.
So as a trainer, trying to get up later in the morning to then be the best you can be all day, but then the meditation gets chucked out. So my meditation patterns have just been so sporadic and all over the place, which is
I think
great.
You almost are creating your own limitation here. Like you've literally created it yourself, like a problem yourself that doesn't really exist. And I often have this conversation with a lot of friends and clients of mine now where I'm like, there's no issue there. Like there's no time set for when you're supposed to meditate. Like I find it, because it's a coping mechanism for me. Yeah. I don't have a ritual where like if I don't do it, I'm upset or it throws my day off. It's like if I need it. Then if I wake up and I don't need it, I don't need it. Yeah. I'm in a great place. I feel great. I'm already there. Like I'm at that peak state of contentness. Not so much happiness, but contentness. That's like a really driven, positive place to be. So if you don't need it, you don't need it. Yeah. And if 5 hours later in the day you have a panic attack because something stressed you out, that's when you need it. Right, gotcha. It's there to support you as it's necessary, I think. True, exactly. Yeah. And I always find in the evening it's a really nice thing to meditate in a way to wind down, Absolutely. Even if you just come home and do it, it doesn't have to be a bedtime thing. Or a lot of clients find it really beneficial to meditate before bed, when your mind's kind of going 100 miles an hour and you suddenly think of all the things that you need to be doing. I mean, even for me, like I come, if I don't have chamber duties after work, or if I'm not in any late meetings and I get to actually come home in like a normal time, my mind wants to explode. Like so much is going on. It's really high paced. Often I'll come home and literally lie on the floor and stare at a ceiling for 5 minutes. Like I'm not even meditating. I just need to have just stop. Yeah. I don't have a TV at home even. Like I need no, That's great. I used to not have a TV, and now we do have a TV since I've moved in with my partner. I'm totally blaming my partner. That's okay. I can respect that. But now I've got a TV, and it is, and you get into a habit of watching TV. Yeah. It's not. You just go into it's the Netflix zone. Just zombie Netflix. The zone. Netflix meditation. That's it. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I guess it's a way that some people do switch off as well. They just zone out watching TV. But I think that period of reflection also is so good to have Absolutely. At the end of the day. So what about yoga? That's just popping into my head. Do you do yoga, or or is that too strenuous? Do you find? So I try. I definitely do it at home. Like if I feel like I can. Yeah. And again, it's like it could only be 5 minutes of it, just a few little lovely stretches or whatever makes me feel good. I can't do a class, unfortunately. It's just too much. I will crash for 3 days. Yeah. So it's unless I know the teacher and I can like be really, can sit on the mat for 10 minutes or what, if I'm feeling that comfortable. Yep. But otherwise just at home, whatever makes me feel good. Yeah, good. And then what about with your team? So all of this wonderful mindfulness that you share on your Instagram, which I love. Everyone should go and follow Rebecca, by the way, Rebecca Veksler, because she really does put up some, great insights into, what's the struggle that you're facing that day or previously, and then how you're approaching mindfulness or positivity to manage that. Do you try and encourage that with your team as well? Everyone in the office? So much. Yeah. Because we are a small team at the moment in Sydney as well, that we're all sitting next to each other. There's no office politics. We don't have,
Yeah.
there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
The only person you can blame is the dog. Like,
Yes.
that's basically it. So we have, a whiffle session once a week, which is what I feel like expressing.
Yeah.
And that's not just about work. That's about life. That's about personal life, what's going on. My team know that they can connect to all of us on a very connected level. And yes, you have to respect certain boundaries. You still have to maintain respect. There is that fine balance, and you've got to constantly remind yourself, you're not friends. They're still part of the team. But my personal values are very much ingrained in the business values, and we don't hire people that don't match and connect that level.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's the true essence of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next for you, 2020?
So many things.
So much. World domination.
Totally.
Do you find it important to reflect on your year, to sort of sit back and say, okay, what have I achieved this year, and feel good about those things and then plan 2020, or is that not something that you
I probably
do?
should. That's so funny, because when you said it in the before we went live, I was like, wow, when did I last do that? And I think the business that I'm in right now is so fast.
Yes.
I don't even have time to remember what I did yesterday.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's just, everything's just really moving. So in terms of congratulating yourself or thinking about the achievements, like, I haven't even begun to consider how much we've actually done this year.
Sure.
And it's a huge amount.
Yeah, yep.
But I know what's happening next year. I've already planned for the next 5 years. It's very much on track. And I know that we'll even surpass those achievements in a much shorter amount of time by the way it's sort of moving. So much is going to happen next year in terms of further global expansion, more products, more innovation, even, more exciting things to bring into the platform of what we're doing. And my biggest goal is more experience-based connections. So taking it beyond a product-based business and really, my core mission with Soul was to create a platform for education.
Right.
That is what the intention is.
Yeah.
And it was always to do with autoimmune and health.
Okay.
So before it was about the environment, it was about why we chose glass and how that impacts the body, and why we should avoid plastic consumption completely, and that will eradicate the environmental issue as well, because it's consumer demand and all that jazz.
Well, and that's interesting, right? Because I think that a lot of truly insightful people will always say you can't change the planet until you change yourself. You can't change those people out there until you change yourself in here. So that's really interesting that actually the foundation or the idea of whatever you want to say of your business came from wanting to do what's best for you personally.
That's right. Yeah.
So then you can positively also impact the climate, right? Or the plastic on the earth.
Think about it this way. No truly successful business, that runs for 20 years, 30 years, a lifetime, ever came from a selfish idea. It was always for the intention of the greater good and a greater passion and a greater drive and a greater mission to just promote an idea, to share and to, express as much of that one thing to as many people as possible. And that's what we're trying to do, is to educate and spread our knowledge and passion to as many people as possible. So next year, we're really going to take that concept to a whole nother level.
Oh, it's fantastic. Sounds
very
so
exciting.
Good. Yeah, very exciting. Watch this space, everyone.
Totally.
Thanks for coming on the show, Rebecca.
Thank you.
We're all done already. That went so fast. Everyone, please go and buy yourself a Soul Cup. You can check them out at Soul Cups, SOLCUPS on Instagram. And of course, also please follow Rebecca, because her Instagram posts are truly interesting, and they're just short, little, insightful moments from Rebecca in her very busy day. But if you are out there and you're in business and you're trying to maintain a positive mindset, or maybe just not feel like you're alone in your struggles, it's really nice to read what she has to say. So thanks, Rebecca, and thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.